100% of the time, it's because they have started working on their nutrition. It's like the one thing that you can't get away from. And until you're accepting of that and like willing to do that work, it's where the magic is. Nobody's coming to save you. You are going to be the person that has to step forward and say, hey, I need help. You don't know what you don't know. My third thing actually is find people who can help you. So they actually all go hand in hand together. It was just like the whole world had like stopped. Like the rug had completely been pulled out from underneath me. And I just remember at that time being like, oh my God, universe, like what is going on? Like I didn't comprehend it. I didn't understand it. I felt broken. I knew I needed to go work through some things for sure.
I felt like a total psychopath as I was doing this. I don't think anybody should know that I'm doing this because this sounds whack. I had this almost just like epiphany because what it felt like was me hearing other people that I didn't allow to speak. You are on the hospital bed signing papers with probably some sushi right here next to you. What I hated about that next moment, nobody saw it. I was like, but just seeing that small win, that one day, a random win just happens, communicated, that I've been able to move past the fact that I gained 100 pounds in a year. Having that progress made and then having people see that and being behind you on it is a magical thing.
Oh, I love it.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to The Road to Worship. You are here with us on site at Tecton Fitness. I'm going to introduce to you who is a part of our conversation today. I'm really excited about this. Today's guest is somebody who's been living the CrossFit lifestyle for nearly 2 decades and building community every step of the way. McKenzie Ciaramella, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Did I get it right? There
Yeah.
you go. She's the co-owner of Tecton Fitness in Murray, Utah, a CrossFit affiliate that has been building for the good of the community for over 14 years. What started as a family hobby back in 2008, McKenzie and her family first walked into 801 CrossFit and eventually becoming one of the longest running affiliates in the Salt Lake area, which is now Tecton. McKenzie is an expert CrossFit and nutrition coach dedicated to help others live and lead a healthier and longer life, guiding her gym community, which represents loyalty, family, and wisdom, passed down through generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, business owner, leader, mother, wife, expert, role model, driving force for healthy change, McKenzie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chase.
How are you doing?
My gosh, so many nice things.
Yes.
Like truly so many nice things.
How do you feel about hearing all of those things that you've done?
Honestly, I know that I embody that work, but truthfully, like I just see myself as a human. So like, it honestly brings me so much joy to hear that come out of your mouth, and I am honored. I'm kind of like, oh, she's pretty awesome.
She is, yeah. It's your everyday life too, so it's things that you are embodying and you're inundated with. So I from the response I've heard from other guests, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, like I have done that.
Yes.
And just hearing it makes it more real almost.
Absolutely.
Like when you're able to make it in the moment.
Yes.
What got you to starting this whole gym that has turned into a pillar of community and what it should look like?
Yeah, so, okay, we gotta go back a ways. So you said it in my intro. So back in 2008, it actually was my dad and my little brother. He was playing baseball at UNLV. And at the time, they heard through the grapevine that there was CrossFit, and that at the time they were underground gyms. Like you couldn't look it up online. You couldn't type in a CrossFit gym. You just had to know somebody who went there. And my dad wanted my little brother to do it for off-season training. And so I lived at home at the time. I was in college, and I went with them to their very first experience. And it's kind of funny, 801 CrossFit, like there's so much history there, and we won't even get into that. But I still think this is comical, but it was a CrossFit gym and the street address was on Wimpy Way. Like literally, it's kind of hysterical to be honest. So I went with them. We all went together for the very first time, the three of us. And I joke about it even here in our gym, like when I ask people, like, do you remember your very first CrossFit workout? I so candidly remember my very first CrossFit workout. I don't remember the exact reps, but it was wall balls.
Was it like mine? Did you actually die and you had to get resurrected?
Yes,
yeah.
I did. So it was I don't remember the reps, but it was wall balls, and then it was a run around the building, and it was three rounds. I do remember that.
Do you know how long the run was around the building?
Yeah, like if I had to put my memory to it, it probably was 200 meters.
Okay.
And at the time, like myself at that age was going to, I'm going to call it a Globo gym, just like a regular gym, running on a treadmill, didn't know how to lift a weight, had never picked up a weight before in my entire life. And so I thought I was fit, like, I can run, I can do this. And also at the time, this is what's really funny, is we don't have the progressions that we have now. Like in CrossFit, I look at how far we have grown just, I mean, on a whole, in terms of education and fitness and all of the things.
It's evolved like crazy.
It has evolved like crazy. And so I was just given this wall ball, and here's the target, and nobody taught me how to do it. Nobody checked if I could even lift the wall ball. So the funny fact, and this is where I'm going, is the wall ball hit me in the face every single time because I couldn't lift it. I couldn't squat and I couldn't toss it. And the run damn near killed me. Oh, wow. So here we go. We all get in the car and we leave. My little brother actually threw up on the way home, which is actually hysterical. We still laugh about that to this day. And I remember being like, I never want to do this again. I was so uncomfortable, hated everything about it, to be honest. And now at this point in my life, I'm like, well, that was my medicine. I needed to do it. Right. And then that just evolved into, we joined the gym, and I did it with my dad and my brother. And then my brother would go off to college during his like normal season, and my dad and I would continue to do it together. And at the time I was like, how do I say this? Not fully in, if that makes sense. Like, I would show up. I'd show up because my dad would come pick me up, and I lived close, and I was...
You're not married to it,
yes,
but you still
I wasn't
wanted to,
married
you still wanted to be there, though.
Yeah, yep. And if I were to be honest, I still didn't like it. Like, I did not like it still at the time, but I would go. Go. And then it evolved into my brother was done with school, and they were talking about what they wanted to do, and my dad was like, well, let's open up a CrossFit gym. Like, this so resonates with us. Do you want to do it? So that was my little brother.
No way.
And because I was so still a part of the family at the time, I'm still part of the family, but I was living at home, and I was a part of all those conversations, and I was just so involved in all of it, to be honest, that they went on and they opened up their gym. And at the time, so that's now like a couple years later. So now we're looking at probably like 2011 is when this conversation was happening. I was married. I was getting ready to have my first daughter, to be honest. And I still was like titrating in CrossFit. I like still didn't really believe it. But guess what? My brother needed help coaching because he wasn't going to be the only one who could coach all of the classes and open up this gym. So there will be a point to this story, but so I actually got certified 10 months pregnant. I literally got certified like this last week of October, and I had my baby girl, well, my first, Izzy, November 7th. So like,
and you have to do like you have to do like a fitness like exam to actually get there, right?
Yes.
And so you're blowed up out here doing burpees.
Yes. And this is totally. Yeah, you are working, we joke, the PVC pipe the whole weekend. And this was when, gosh, like level ones had 50 people in them. There was like 6 CrossFit level 1 seminar staff there. So long story short, I did that, I had her, and then I started coaching at our family gym. Honestly, that January. And I was always the 9 a.m. coach. That's what I did for a very long time. And 2 things happened for me then. And actually, maybe I need to go back and say, prior to that, actually prior to coming up to that level 1, there was a moment where I actually drank the Kool-Aid. I actually realized like, hey, this is what is going to help me with my health and fitness. Then having my family want to do this, I wanted to be a part of it.
It's kind of a perfect storm to just go all in.
A perfect storm to go all in. Yep. And then when I did get my level 1 certification, and I realized the methodology, and I started really embodying all of it, it honest to God changed my life. Like in more ways than I could sit here and we could talk about that all day long, to be honest. Yeah.
So you've gone from hating this method of destroying your body into absolutely loving it, to the point where you are convincing other people to destroy your body or their body voluntarily. We'll say we're not forcing people here, but there's a point to it, and it's not just this. It's not just this place to kind of just show up and burn yourself out, but it's a place to build friendships and kind of that camaraderie. I was talking with our mutual friend Adrian last week about how it's the characteristics between CrossFit and church are very similar in regards to what it requires to build a strong community, and holding each other accountable, and discipline, being present, and being in one another's lives. Like, there's a lot of that here. Was that the contributing factor to you continuing in CrossFit, or what did it really start from, oh, I see what it's done for me, I have to help other people experience what I've experienced?
I want to say both, to be honest. The contributing factor was, again, just kind of going back to the beginning of our family gym. Like, I think what I actually know what I am for other people now is what my brother was for me at the time. And what I mean by that is he was so loving and caring and calm and taught all of this beautiful methodology that we do, right? Like, never had I picked up a barbell, learned all of that. And I learned that through coaching and getting certified and all of that, but doing the work, coming in every day and doing these workouts. And so he created that space for me. And then as our gym evolved and lives evolved and he got busy with his life and decided that the gym wasn't going to be where he wanted to invest his time anymore. The gym at that time, I'll be honest, like, in 14 years, we have seen high highs and we have seen very low lows. Yeah. And I also think that is what makes the story so beautiful. So the point of what I'm getting at is, at the time it was a low in terms of the gym. It wasn't being cared for and taken care of and all of those wonderful things as the way that it needed to. And I felt like I, at that time, had what it took to give to this methodology and to the people and to build a community that, like, we had for so long here, and then it dissolved and it was like, okay, it's time to restart. So I think both of those things. And I quickly realized, like, one of my gifts is making people feel very comfortable and allowing and creating space for people to do this really hard thing together. And I mean, I am so grateful that it is CrossFit, to be honest. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's just hearing that it's a combination of both. And I can't stress that enough, even in my own experience. I can come here, I had a really bad day, and I process things through doing things physically. So pushing myself maybe even a little too far on the things that I'm really good at for doing a workout. Like, if we're doing an echo bike on a workout, I'm burning myself that day. Like, it's like I'm giving everything I got just to get it all out. But I can also be assured that everybody else who's here with me, good or bad days for them, are still going to be present and be here. And we're protective of the space enough to where we know what we need to do here, but we're also inviting of bringing people in. And I think that's what makes this gym so unique. I've seen a few other CrossFit gyms, both here in Utah and then back home, where that's not really that. And seeing how diverse the characteristics are between CrossFit gyms is quite dramatic. And so the fact that you can come to a place where it's community and we're here to work together, we're not here to try to, like, outdo each other, but we're here to build and we're here to grow. And it's a wonderful thing.
Well, and to, like, play off of that too, like, I believe we are all more similar than we are different, right? Like, you saying that, like, if it's an echo bike workout, I'm gonna give it my all and I'm gonna kind of burn. Yeah, guess what? I like to do that too. You know, so it's like we're all just more similar than we are different. Yeah.
You are somebody who's very vocal about nutrition, and somebody who is a driving force of trying to solve, or maybe not solve, but to help others work through chronic health issues through lifestyle, through eating, and through healthy living. What would be 3 easy steps to our viewers listening on to kind of get started on finding that healthier lifestyle? I know we follow the CrossFit methodology when it comes to nutrition. It could be a little daunting because of how inundated some people are with just food that's around. I know that's how it was for me. And so could you boil down into 3 steps on just how somebody could get started and get their foot wet into that kind of healthier lifestyle?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to give it a little context, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think right now, too, we live in so to answer your questions, we live in such a world where there's so much noise, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's always a new fad, a new diet, a new product, a new supplement.
Yeah.
And they all have a
new
quick...
injections now.
I know, new injections.
That's what I'm like, there's
now.
more, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And, the reality is they're all a quick fix. Mm-hmm. And it's also what I love so much about CrossFit and nutrition is that nothing about what we do is a quick fix.
No.
Like, it literally is sustainable progress over time. And I am at the point too, and I actually think about this a lot, just when I talk to new people or I'm bringing them into the gym or we're having these conversations, CrossFit is not CrossFit without nutrition. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, I even see that in the gym. Like, I'm going to take a couple more steps back, but I also understand, and I think this is what I'm actually really good at, is that not everybody wants to be 1,000% engrossed in the gym, if that makes sense. So like, we can titrate it to whatever
cool
makes
is not
sense.
for everybody.
Yes. Yes, what makes sense for each person and their journey, right? Yeah. So even like having done this work for this long, I have seen individuals who really just focus on the fitness part, but they don't really worry about the lifestyle part or the nutrition part. And then the second that they do, all of a sudden, everybody in the gym's like, whoa. What's he doing? What's she doing? Like, her scores are crazy. Like, she looks fantastic or he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And 100% of the time, it's because they have started working on their nutrition. It's like the one thing that you can't get away from. Yeah. And until you're accepting of that and like willing to do that work, and that's different for everybody, right? Yeah. It's where the magic is. Yeah. So, three simple ways. I think one is that you have to be ready to make that move. Okay. I can talk about nutrition to everybody and anybody, but unless they're like really willing to be like, hey, I have the capacity for this, I'm ready to take this on. So my action step for that is make that first move. You don't have to have all the answers, but nobody's coming to save you. You are going to be the person that has to step forward and say, hey, I need help with this.
What could that first move be?
Yeah.
For somebody?
Truthfully, asking for help.
Talk about it.
I also think that was actually going to be my second thing. Like, I think people only, you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And my third thing actually is find people who can help you. So they actually all go hand in hand together. Yeah. Because what I have found also is that there's also a lot of people who do know what they should be doing, but they just need the support. They just need somebody holding them accountable, saying, hey, you can do this. Hey, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. Hey, you said you were going to do this. You maybe are not doing that action step and letting yourself down, but I'm going to hold you accountable to that. Not because you're letting me down, but because we have a pact. Yeah. I'm here to help you. Yeah.
This is two mutual adults working at it together.
Yes.
And making it possible.
Yes.
I mean, I see that all the time. Even I have that with some of my friends in other areas of life that we want to hold each other accountable for. And it's not necessarily like you said, letting the other person down. It's not saying like I'm less valuable because they didn't hold up their end of the deal when it comes to their pact or whatever they agreed to do. But it's, hey, I know that your goal is worth more than the feeling you're going to have that's going to set you back when it comes to, we'll say food, for example. Like, hey, I know the goal that you have, your weight goal, whatever, your body fat percentage, whatever you want to hit is worth more to you than what you're about to go eat because we talked about it.
Yes.
So I'm going to say something because I love you.
Yes. Yeah. And usually what it is that action step is that they're comfortable with going forward with making that choice, right? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, maybe I am just going to go and eat fast food on my way home. Yeah. Or whatever it is, because that's what they've done in the past, instead of actually just like sitting there having that moment of awareness of, this doesn't meet my goal, and I can take a moment to breathe and actually realize that like I have power in this choice. Yeah.
Would you say habit change is equal, or if not more important than the actual nutrition part of it? Like one requires the other?
Yes, I think it's actually more important. Okay. Yeah, I do. I think it's more important because it's the habits that create the action steps, and truly, that's what leads to the sustainable change.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, I can even see that in my own life, and so I'm happy you shared that.
You know what, Chase?
It was a leading question because I knew the answer, but like I needed somebody to say it.
Yes.
What's a characteristic about CrossFit and its communities, no matter how diverse it is, that you would want everybody to understand?
Yeah.
Or at least get?
You know, there's so many things,
there's a lot.
honestly, because we could unpack so many things to, you know, CrossFit, you're going to get injured, and CrossFit is just the sport of CrossFit, and CrossFit is high intensity, so it means that you're going at 100% all the time. There's so many things that I can talk about.
Sure.
And truly, to be honest, I feel like those are such old narratives. Like, I think that they're out there in the universe, and yet, like, when I sit in this embodiment of work, I'm like, yeah, that's like such old news, to be honest. Like, going back to what I said originally with my first CrossFit workout, like, we have evolved so much, and we are really good at what we do. You know, I take my job very seriously. And so I'm not gonna let somebody come in and get injured.
Sure.
Absolutely not. I'm gonna meet you where you're at, and we'll work the progress from there. But really what I want people to know is that CrossFit is for everybody. And I know this is cliche because it's out there, but it doesn't mean that everybody wants to do CrossFit, and I completely respect that too. It's not the only way. However, I think if you can be vulnerable and just step into a CrossFit gym, and put
your ego
yourself
go
out there, leave your ego at the door. Know that it's going to be very humbling. Know that you, at least in my space, I can guarantee this, I say this all the time to people, like, you're going to be seen. Like, if you want to come in and you want to work out and you don't want people to see you or talk to you, this is not going to be the place for you. You're also
could just kind of hide in the corner and just do that. No.
Totally. And in fact, I call them out. Hey, you going back over in the corner like you always do, you know. But I think we just have this tone, maybe, that, like, we're scary, and the reality is we are the most kindest, most compassionate, humbling people out there. And you know what I actually really think that it is? I think about this a lot, actually. I think it's when people commit to something they know here, too, especially in our gym, they're going to be held accountable. And I don't know if everybody's ready for that. But I want people to know that if they are ready, willing, and able, step into a CrossFit gym and let your journey just begin. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know every single person the second you walk in here, but, like, let that process guide you. It's a journey. And enjoy the journey. Because there are so many parts of it that are so humbling. Or there's days where you come in and you're like, did I even get any better? Am I getting stronger? Am I getting faster? Why is this so hard? You know, I mean, honestly, truly, at this point, the gym's been around for 14 years. I've been doing CrossFit since 2008. So coming up, almost on 2 decades, which is
insane,
mind-blowing to me.
It's a lot.
There's days where I come in and I'm like, I am so disconnected to what my body is telling me. Have I ever done this before? You know, but that's what makes me real. That's what makes me a really good coach. But I think that it's like, just take that first, it's action steps. Let people help you. Let people guide you. I don't think that we're meant to do this alone.
Well, I don't think we're meant to do anything alone when it comes to life in general, like even outside.
I completely agree.
Like,
Have you, Chase, have you ever heard of Brene Brown?
No.
Okay, so.
I don't think so.
She wrote a book called Daring Greatly, and I read this, I'm 42, probably when I was 30. It was around the time I had my first daughter. And she blatantly says that, like, we are hardwired for love and connection. And truly that, like, is 1,000% true. And I recognize that immensely during COVID when the gym got shut down and everybody was working out in their homes and garages and living rooms, including myself. I mean, I just remember being like, this is why we don't do this. This is why we come together in a place and a space where we do this hard thing together. We share that experience. We are all getting so much better when we do it together.
It's doing, I think, anything to this capacity alone. I'm happy we have people in the world who are bold enough to say those things, because it's something that's crucial in the good times and in the hard times. It's community is essential.
Community is everything.
Leads me to what I wanted to talk about next, because community is so important, especially outside the gym. Your journey is filled with overcoming adversity. We've talked about a couple of those things already, but specifically, you've been able to rise above what life has thrown you, and I find that very admirable. What would be your advice to a young business owner, entrepreneur who might be listening, who has a vision for their future, and is deciding to embark on their dream,
Yes.
what would you tell them?
So I would tell them to listen to themselves, listen to that gut, listen to their intuition. I think the universe has such an incredible, you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
I like to call it energy, universe, has such an incredible way of almost like comically saying, like, is this really what you want? Like, you say you want this, but is this really what you want? So let me get clear, and I can be very specific. So at the time that the opportunity presented itself that I could take over the gym and do it with my dad, so many reasons why I wanted to. Selfishly, one, I love working with my dad, and I think that it's absolutely incredible that I get to see him.
Brett, we love you.
We do. Just that he can be a part of my daily life. I hold so much value in that. And then there's just was so many people that I just loved and we wanted to take care of. And I mean, that's just believing in something that's like bigger than yourself too. So myself was like, yeah, okay, I want to do this. And I actually had somebody at the time tell me, like, you can birth a baby and birth the gym at the same time. And I say those two things together because at that time when I took over the gym, I actually was getting ready to have my second child.
Okay.
So both of my girls literally resonate with the gym. My first daughter was born when we started 14 years ago, and my second daughter was born when I took over, which is just wild. And so
I didn't realize the timelines synced up like that. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And I just remember having this just internal gut knowing of like, I can do this. I can make this better. I want this. I think I have what it takes. And my husband, my biggest supporter, you know that saying, like, behind every great man is a great woman. In my case, I will only speak to my situation, but behind me is an incredible human being that never gets enough credit. And he is truly the foundation of why I'm able to do all the things that I'm able to do. So huge shout out to him. I love him dearly. So I was having my daughter and I was literally signing the lease for the space that we are in now at the same time.
Wow.
Like literally my dad came to the hospital to meet Vivian and he was like, hey, I hate to bring this up, but we got to sign the lease today. And I'm like, okay.
I can't imagine that.
Okay.
I can't imagine. I would have told you to like get the hell out of here.
You know, you know what's so funny is that like, I think it was my naive self in one way, like this beautiful, naive woman who was just like, yeah, okay, let's do this, you know? So now I lost my train of thought a little bit. I don't remember that specifically, but I remember it was more like, no, it was more like, hey, we have to sign the lease. Is this a go? I'll go take care of it. That's what it was.
It's a whole new level of boss mom.
Yes. And in the meantime, okay, so I had to move the gym and we had to relocate. And that was in 2019. Coming forth to then 2020.
Right.
Okay, so now my experience in my own body, my daughter was 1. My mom was having a lot of health issues. That's where this is going. And that year was COVID year. So March, I know, like, I forget sometimes all the things that we have been through, but March, we had just hosted a Granite Games competition literally in our gym that Saturday before we shut down the gym for COVID.
Gosh.
And I remember being like, oh my God, thank God we chose that weekend. Because like, fast forward, there was a moment where I had the choice of like, which weekend do we want to do? So, and nobody knew that COVID was around the corner. Like that just wasn't a thing. So come March, we shut down the gym. My mom was not doing well. And I say that from like this loving place of like, she wasn't well, she hadn't been well for a long time. But not having any concept or clue of what was to come next. So the gym was closed. We were running our gym out of our garage, doing Zoom calls and trying to keep the community together. And I mean, I think there was so much fear at that point, right? Like nobody knew what was going on. People were afraid of COVID, sickness, toilet paper was gone, equipment was gone in here. It was like we all wanted to come together, but then we were almost kind of scared at the time, you know? And there's so much that's wrapped up with that. But we reopened the gym. And in July, so we reopened the gym. I actually don't remember, to be honest, how long we were closed, but it was shortly after that we reopened the gym. And one random Wednesday, and I say random, it's not very random, but I came and worked out at the gym, left, and I got a phone call from my dad that my mom had committed suicide. And it was so shocking at the time. It like still gives me chills. I don't think that's ever gonna go away because she's just such an incredible person, and I just miss her so much.
Sorry.
Thank you. And it was just like the whole world had like stopped. Like the rug had completely been pulled out from underneath me. And I just remember at that time being like, oh my God, universe, like what is going on? Like I didn't comprehend it. I didn't understand it. It was so traumatic for not only me, for my dad. I like to speak very gently. I mean, I'm such an open book. You could ask me any question. Yeah. I like to speak very gently sometimes because I realize it's not just me. I have 4 siblings, and I have my dad who experienced this whole thing, and my husband and my kids. And but I had to get really clear. So this is where this is coming to your question. I had to get really clear on what I was doing and why I was doing it, and did I want to do it anymore, to be honest. And part of that was the gym. It was, could I handle it and have the capacity to handle it while I needed to heal, while I felt broken, to be honest. I mean, there were so many things that came with that at that time. And I'll be honest, I did stick with it, and I was in therapy. So this is a key pivotal moment. I think we all have these in our lives. Like just as pivotal as, yes, I want to do this. I want to take over the gym. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I just was so excited about that. I had a pivotal moment where I was in therapy because this horrific thing had just happened to me. And I knew that, and to a lot of people, that I had to be good. Like I knew that in order for me to show up in the capacity that I wanted to, and not even just from a gym perspective, but from an individual perspective, I had a husband and kids and myself. I knew I needed to go work through some things for sure. And I remember talking with my therapist, and she was just telling me like, hey, there are times in our lives where we get rock bottomed and nothing makes sense. And those are pivotal times where you might need a change. And the one thing I haven't said too, but I use it a lot, and I'm going to call it this practice, is I was so riddled with grief. I was so physically sick. I don't think that that's something that people talk about. That I actually couldn't do CrossFit for a very long time. Well, I say very long time, and I'm talking
long time for
months.
A CrossFitter.
Yeah, like when I look
you go a week without doing a CrossFit workout, you're like, I've never done this before. So
I know, it's like, what, I've been not CrossFitted in like months. But like, I physically could not move my body. I was so sick.
To rest.
Yes, yeah. And at the time she was so great, and she didn't steer me in any one way. I think a really good therapist doesn't steer you in any one way. They just let you talk and listen and come to these concepts. But she was like, it could be time to change the way you move your body, not have so much responsibility and pressure that you were putting on yourself, and not even that I was just putting it on myself, but it's a lot of responsibility to take care of people. I mean, that's what we do. It's wrapped up in CrossFit, but like we take care of people. Yeah. People's health and fitness and mental health and all the things that encompass and embody health are very important to me. Yeah. And so she was not encouraging me to do any one thing, but I just remember that I had to get really clear, like, should I be not doing this anymore? Like maybe this wasn't my path. And at the time, my dad's my business partner. He also wasn't doing very well. And so I just remember though having this very clear moment. So this is the pivotal moment I'm getting to, where I was sitting on the couch and I was listening to my intuition, and I was like, no, like I am not going to give up on this thing that I love, that I want to do so badly, because I'm not well right now. Like I want to make that decision in a healthy place, and I was not in a healthy place. So for that, I just decided, no, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna give it my all, and I'm going to let it help me. Yeah. And to be honest, in some beautiful way, like this again is universe, energy, divine, whatever you wanna call it, I truly believe that my mom knew that I was going to need a lot of love and purpose and support. And the second that I made that decision just energetically within myself to be like, hey, nope, this is what I'm doing. And I am just going to keep chugging along. And we're just going to do the best we can and let the journey unfold as it needs to. I'm not in a position to make any other decisions at this time. Mm-hmm. It's become this beautiful thing that we have so many incredible people here. Mm. And I like secretly think that she sent them to me. In some weird way.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it's more because it's just, I'm just doing what I love. And when I do what I love, I'm lit up. And so to like the person who is out there wants to put themselves out there and they're just not sure or unclear or how they're going to get from start to finish, you don't have to have all those answers.
Yeah.
You just have to start and the journey will unfold itself. And I honestly can say that is the same for your fitness and nutrition journey.
Yeah.
We don't have to have all the answers right away. We just have to start. Right. And then the journey will unfold itself.
I appreciate you sharing all that and being so vulnerable, because I think people need it, like they're yearning for it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the biggest response I've seen, at least on this platform, is information is great. Like we can spit fire about nutrition and CrossFit movements and why they're so great all the time, but getting to the core of why that knowledge is so important and how it applies to just humanity, just how it applies to your life is so crucial. I've noticed in my own journey with entrepreneurship where typically when you start, and you could probably attest to this, but when the journey starts, it's exciting.
Oh,
it's like,
totally.
It's like, yes, everything is uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's cool. Yes. Like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about like the day I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. Like the certainty of that decision is really cool. Even though I just said everything is uncertain, which it is when you're starting a business, one thing you can guarantee is at some point you will hit rock bottom. Like there really isn't any scenario where that doesn't happen. Like you can, even if you come from money, like you will see a rock on your bottom. Like you will see it happen at some point in time, and it'll take many different forms. Yeah. It could be experiencing loss. It could be financial loss. It could be human loss like you experienced. And even just going through COVID, which also had the financial components to it as well. Yeah.
And talk about rock bottom. Like, we had I'd only taken over the gym about a year prior, and I think I've shared with you this before. I haven't shared this with very many people, but the gym was losing money when I took over. And so it was one of those where I'm like, okay. And I remember saying this to my dad, like, hey dad, like if we give it our all and we fail, then we fail. But I will not give it my all. And that also was tied into that pivotal moment of like, oh no, I'm not ready to like say that I'm done with this yet. I haven't even given it a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that year was really hard, right? Like financially, like COVID shut down our business. And that entire year, I don't talk about this much because it matters and it doesn't matter. Like it matters from an entrepreneurial perspective of like, you're going to hit a rock bottom. Yeah. We didn't get paid for a year. Like, thank goodness I had my husband who worked full time and could support and like allow me. I mean, there's so many reasons why this is working.
It gave you the room to try.
It gave me the room to try.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, so incredibly grateful for him.
Yeah.
But when you have skin in the game and you've got to pay for the lease, even though everything is shut down and you have no clue what's going to happen. Yeah. Like, that's a really scary place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even through that, you have you come to a decision. And I've seen and know people who have made both decisions of continuing or saying, I have to cut my losses and go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
That's not a bad decision to make. Like I have a friend who had just had to shut down his business, and he was really bummed out about it because he was really excited about what he was doing. He was very passionate about it. And he loved the idea of having his own schedule, doing the things he wants the way he wants to do it, and having that, it's funny, having that freedom. Even though it's not freeing necessarily with time, you do control your own schedule, but it's filled up with everything.
Yeah.
And so, but the cost to it, he was willing to pay for. And he was on the other side of, no, actually, I have to support my wife.
Yeah.
I have to keep this house going. It may not be the time yet, but that doesn't negate the year of experience that he had trying to build something. Like
Yeah.
everything that he did, he kept. And that was my initial mistake, is when I hit my first rock bottom, because now there's been multiple.
We all have them
And we all
multiple
have them.
times.
In business specifically, though,
Yes.
in 2 years, we've had two. Every year, there's always like a, is it time? Is it time? Are we going to cut it? And,
Yep.
and thankfully, we haven't yet. But there's there's the moment where you have to make that decision, but you don't lose the effort that you've put in.
Yes, yeah. Yep.
You can put that anywhere outside of entrepreneurship, which you should. Like, I didn't finish college. I went for 2 years.
Yeah.
The 2 years that I went didn't disappear
No.
because I didn't finish it. And I think that's a common thought process when it comes to that. Like, if I had stopped CrossFit today, I didn't lose the year and change of experience or few years I've done already here.
Yeah.
And having that experience, you can go back and do it again.
Yes.
My old boss from my last job before I started my business, he did a...
And actually, what I was going to tell you right there in
Yeah.
that moment, sorry, this
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
came to me. And guess what? You're going to be even better at it when you go back and do it again.
Yes. And it will get worse.
Yes.
Each time it happens, it will get harder,
Yes.
but you will be stronger.
Yes.
And so it's just this like equal balancing out.
How relevant is that to CrossFit? Like when people are like, oh, when
Not
does it ever get
relevant at
easier? Oh,
all.
honey, it never gets easier, right? You just get
Never.
fitter, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
You push yourself a little bit fitter, faster, more, whatever, lift more.
Yeah.
That's the part where it's like embrace it because it doesn't get
Right.
easier. Yeah.
My old boss, my old job before he laid me off. You're awesome. You got me kickstarted on my journey. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. There's value there.
Yes, I was very comfortable. He did these things called quarantine corners, and so when we all went to COVID, our office was dismissed. Like we didn't. It was COVID. We had no office, and so as we were in training, he was doing this COVID corner where he was doing a weekly. Is that the weekly or bi-weekly time where he just did like vlogs essentially, and we all watched him.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it, but he said something, and he was talking about when he was starting his company, and he said, which made me feel quite humiliated when I started my business, because it's true. But he said something along the lines of, I never trust a business owner who's only tried it once.
Oh.
Or he'll say, I never trust somebody who hasn't failed in business yet.
Yeah.
And when I started my business, man, my ego was through the roof. I'm like, I'm gonna get it right the first try. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And now being a few years into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I agree with him. 1000%.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, you're the first business you start could succeed and go a long time, but when you're just starting out, you're a newborn in this process. Like you need people who are, in business terms, adultier than you are to help you along the way. No, I'm not going to trust somebody who's only been in it a year.
Yeah.
Not because they're not trustworthy people, they just don't know what they're doing yet. And so having this input and this advice from somebody who's been at it for 14 years, even somebody that, I look up to you in regards to how to build this kind of community and trust between members. Members trust you with everything. I trust you with everything. I've drank the Kool-Aid. Like, I'm in it now. You're the way that you have allowed people into your world is something that I don't think this world has enough of. And I'm very happy that you have people in this space that you have created with your dad and with your brother to allow that to happen, where people can compete with themselves and each other and not go at each other's throats. Or to encourage people to be humble enough to start small, or to start not where they want to be, or they'll see somebody across the way here doing a workout and they're like, man, I freaking wish I could do that. And the humility of saying, no, I can't yet.
Yes.
Yet.
You know what's so interesting, Chase, is I actually heard somebody just say this recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, that could not be more true. Nobody starts on the same playing field.
No.
And I think that that is so important for us all to remember. So even to like circle back to like, what would I want somebody to know about walking into a gym is you're starting on a completely different playing field than somebody else. And don't judge yourself for that. Like you are here, you can be here and you can be doing this hard work and we can help you do it and you can achieve all of your goals, but you aren't starting where somebody else started. And from a fitness perspective, I mean, we've had so many people come in to the gym and guess what? They can get a ring muscle up, which, you know, I mean, in CrossFit, it's like the thing that everybody wants, because they've done gymnastics their whole life. And then I'll say it myself, like, I am the person who walked in the gym and didn't have any experience. When I started, I couldn't do a pull-up, I couldn't do a push-up, I couldn't do anything. I never lifted a barbell. And I think that's why I love and am so passionate about this, because I'm like, with the right environment and the right people and the right support and the right methodology, I've actually never seen this not work, but we don't all start at the same place. And that's okay. There's space for everybody here. And just because somebody can do a ring muscle up and somebody is working on, you know, getting their first pull up, like, they're both equally as valuable. And I see that to be equally as valuable. Yeah. But it's that in business too. You know, it's like that, it's that in people's personal finances. I mean, that could be true in almost anything that we talk about. It's that in this human experience. What was that first aha moment for you in business? So I'll say, like, for me, for example, I remember when I got my first client in my web development agency. And both my parents are business owners. You know, my dad's a designer, my mom's a forensic accountant. I don't know if she calls that herself. I didn't know that that's the type of accountant she is. Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's fascinating. She's cool. I think your mom and I should be friends. We should, she's had some clients in the past where she's had to investigate missing money and had to pull together documents of like, here's what happened. To bring to court to somebody. Cool. And so, I mean, that's not the majority of her clients, I don't think. Sorry, Mom, if I'm misrepresenting you. But that's what I think of her as, is like just this niche, trusted business owner and whatnot. But I remember when I got my first client, I was driving to, I thought I was gonna walk my dog, I think somewhere. I was driving, and I was about to hit the freeway. And a few minutes before, like as I was leaving, I got the email that they wanted to sign on. And I called my mom first and I was lit up. I was so excited because it was a good 4 months, I think, of me developing and building my own platform and my own website and whatnot, and getting that ready and launched, and then networking and trying to find people and putting myself out there. And I'm a very self-conscious an insecure person. So putting myself out there saying, hey, I'm good at this, I felt like an impossible task. It's hard. It's still hard. I hate networking, even though I'm decent at it now. But I called my mom, I felt like a 7-year-old who got a new toy. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's working. It's working. You know what she said? She was like, cool. Not excited at all. And it wasn't that she didn't love me or anything. It was that she's done her business for 2.5 decades. So she's like, I get them all the time. I'm like, this is great. And so, but it was, my dad did the same thing too. I called him too, hoping to get a different response. And he was like, oh, that's cool, man. That's great. I'm like, can you all just be excited for me like once? But that didn't negate my excitement. But just the feeling of, I call it hope. Like just the hope that, oh my gosh, okay, somebody trusted me with their business that's growing, then helped my business to grow. That was just a moment in time that I don't think I'll forget. And so I share that as an example, but what was that moment for you when you first took over the gym? Because you have this process of you're starting, you're excited. I'm just imagining you just birthed a child and you are on the hospital bed signing papers with probably some sushi right here next to you because you can eat it again. It's actually coffee and steak. That's what I wanted. It was coffee and steak. That's what I wanted. But it's why Vivian is so spicy because But what was that moment for you? You know what's interesting? Like you say that, and to be honest, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I have one that sticks out, to be honest, as that like, oh my gosh. But what I can say is, I actually think I have those moments all the time. To be honest, like I just
that's
had
even more powerful.
Yeah, and I love that about this work. I love that about
Yeah.
this work. I have a nutrition client that he doesn't come to the gym, and I've been working with him, and he just sent me the mind like explosion emoji this morning. I'm like, it's working. Like I'm losing weight, it's working.
No way.
And I'm like, I'm taking that as a really good sign.
That's so cool.
And like that gets me so lit up.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy for that person and so proud of them, and like hard work pays off. It's so. And I mean, that's just one that just happened within the last 24 hours. But it's like, we just went through the open.
Yeah.
Just how fun it was to see everybody in our gym show up for each other. Yeah. That's like that whole concept of like, this is so much bigger than me, and I believe in something so much bigger than myself, which is, in my world, it's CrossFit and nutrition. That's my love language. But I like just people showing up and doing this hard thing and being uncomfortable. And we all felt that way. I felt that way, so it's not, I don't think I have like one specific aha moment. I think I'm titrated with a lot of those. But I think what's important, and I will say this, is they're all such big wins. Does that make sense? Like no small moment, and we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Like a small win is a huge win. It is a huge win, and I just hold a lot of value in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'll put myself on blast here for a second, but just
and probably like an hour later, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I have this moment, right? Yeah.
But on that note, like there's so many cool things that could be considered small wins. I'm now realizing things now just for myself.
Yes.
Of just these small wins are representative of so many habits for me that were killing me.
Yeah.
And like whatever these small wins were, whether if that's weight loss or body fat percentage loss, muscle gained, if this was a movement you can now do, if this was the fact that you just showed up in a day. Like one of our favorite gym members, a quote that's going to go across the whole gym, it's my PR, is just walking through the door.
Yes. Todd Schaefer.
Todd.
We love you.
Todd. But just those small wins of being able to do that. But I say small as in comparison, if you're comparing to other people of doing like just these big things.
Yeah.
I remember when I got a pull-up for the first time last year.
Yes.
I did it on accident.
Which I love, because that's usually how it happens.
Yeah, because I was waiting for, I signed up for a session, I was waiting for it to start, and I was like, I don't know what's telling me to try, but I'm just gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I got my first strict pull-up, and my jaw dropped.
I love it.
And what I hated about that next moment, nobody saw it. I was like, do I say anything, or do I just let it go? And I decided to tell you, I'm like, I think I just got my first pull-up. And you're like, what?
Yes.
Do it again.
Yes.
And I'm like, can we just call it? Like, I don't know if I could do a second one.
Right.
Thankfully, I could do a second one, so everybody could see the proof. But just seeing that small win, that one day, a random win just happens, communicated that I've been able to move past the fact that I gained 100 pounds in a year just from binge eating and from being so insecure and not working out and being so embarrassed walking into the gym of not being able to do the things that a bigger person you would think could just do, being lifting heavy. And having that progress made and then having people see that and being behind you on it is a magical thing.
That is the magic of the community. That is that shared experience that I think we're not meant here to do it alone.
We had a gym member just do her push-up for a first push-up for the first time a few months ago.
Yep.
And she went around to every gym session and showed everybody. She's like, everybody stop. I could do a push-up now.
Sandy, there you go. We love you. Yes.
And just
I love it.
Just the fact of being able to do that, you're not doing it from a side of ego or pride. You're not showing off.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to show off about a push-up in the grand scheme of things when it comes to fitness, especially in the CrossFit space, because the ceiling of skill is so high.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that you could do it. Like it's where that person is in that point in time, being able to achieve something that they could never do is such a beautiful thing.
It is. It's so cool. And truly, like, that was huge for her, right? Like, she'd been working on that for a very, very long time. And that's where I'm like, that's huge. Yeah. It's huge. It's honestly, it's everything.
It's everything. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And you know, I've said this to you, I'm like, let that carry you for 6 months, because you're going to come
Use
in
it as
tomorrow
fuel.
and something's going to humble you.
Yeah, we did running for the first time yesterday, and it bit me. It bit me hard.
Well, if I could say, I think it bit everybody hard.
It did hit a lot of people hard. If your life, where you are now, now in your early 40s, right? In the 40s,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations on making it this far.
Yes, yes.
If your life of 40 plus years has been a movie up until this point, what would the audience be screaming at the screen, telling you to do?
Oh my gosh. Like what, like just comes to my stomach, and like,
Yeah, what comes?
my intuition is just more of what you're doing. Like the work that I'm doing, keep going. Like those are like the voices that I hear. Like keep going, do more, and not do more. Let me be very clear, because it's something I'm working on. Not do more as in like run on the treadmill as hard as you can and spin your wheels,
Sure.
but share more, and just more, talk about it more. Fitness truly is like the thing that makes me most embodied in myself. We haven't talked a ton about like methodology of CrossFit, which I love that we are just here candidly talking. But I will say, like, to own and be so empowered to know like what health and fitness really is, truly, which I think is so incredible. And I learned all of that from CrossFit. And how to actually take care of myself physically, just sharing that with the world. I think that's what when I say more, just sharing that more with people, and bringing as many people into that as physically possible. My work is in this space, in this box, in this building. So
it is pretty much just a big box. Yeah,
it is a very big box. Yes, but just that, and just keep being myself. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but I appreciate people who are themselves and can authentically show up as themselves. And I think that's part of one of my secret sense. I think it's one of my gifts. Yeah, that I allow people to be themselves, and hey, we're going to do this whole hard thing together, and it's magical.
I would take that a step further, and yes, you are phenomenal at facilitating a space where people can be themselves. But you also, in a very kind, polite, and non-invasive way, you shut down anybody who's not being themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I could communicate it, because you're not walking up, knocking somebody against the head saying be yourself, but it's the way that I'll say it again, it's the way you facilitate the space. You can't really do anything but you can't do anything but being yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit, it doesn't match if somebody isn't. I've definitely tried walking into this gym covering who I was in the moment, because I'm like, I'm not ready for people to see who I am right now, and I couldn't. Like, it didn't work.
Yes.
And I think that's a really special thing. And that's why it's so humbling and vulnerable, but that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
So you've been nose deep in building up your nutrition and your fitness, and building your, I think, just health kind of overall from a physical perspective. You are also somebody who really takes great importance to your mental and spiritual health as well. And we've talked a little bit about how important it is for you and the things that you do, especially as a business owner and somebody who does have a lot of stress in life when it comes to being a parent, being a spouse, and then being a business owner and all the other things I don't know about. What are some things that you do to keep yourself spiritually in tune? And I say spiritually in tune because you aren't somebody who you weren't religious growing up, and you're I don't think you have a faith that you typically match with, but you do understand the importance of, there is something greater than me. I need to be spiritually in tune in order to be healthy, which is great. And so I want to hear from your perspective and your kind of view of the world. What do you find is maybe healing or constructive or things that keep you at peace or keep you sound when these stressors are so prevalent?
Yeah. One thing that I have learned about myself too, like talk about reflection and just thinking and learning more about yourself, is that I am somebody who likes to try on everything. You could tell me, hey, this works, do it. And unless I try it on myself and then like embody the work and decide, is this right for me? I have to do it. I'm like such an in-action person. So yes, I am a very spiritual person. I did not come from any sort of religious upbringing, which I think in so many cases has freed me and provided a lot of freedom to just really do a lot of internal work on myself. And so it's that. I do a lot of internal work on myself, whether that is stillness, whether that is neuroplasticity work.
There we go.
I've had to do, I know, blah, blah, blah. I've had to do a ton of neuroplasticity work since my mom has passed. But I've also like seen the through line of how, gosh, it just like magnifies everything in my life in such a beautiful way. So a ton of stillness. I am such an extrovert and I am such an introvert at the same time. So like just being with myself a lot, to be honest.
There's a new term for that. There's like both the introvert and extroverted people.
Oh
there's a third, I forgot what it's. I almost said omnivert, but that's not it.
That's not it.
That's an omnivore. That's not it.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay, so stillness, I've already said that. Neuroplasticity work. We were just talking about this yesterday. I'm not sure yet how, but it has recently come into my circle, a lot of nervous system work. I have tapped into it with some of
nervous system visualization stuff you were talking about too. Yeah.
I've tapped into quite a bit of it with the neuroplasticity work that I've done, but there's a layer there that I'm like, oh. But the layer I'm starting to just learn about is the education piece behind it. And that's why that is so tied to part of my like taking care of myself or my spiritual well-being is when my mom passed, we all have a nervous system. I can go back in my life and we could talk about that for a long time about where my nervous system showed up, not knowing that that's what it was. But when my mom passed, it was on fire. So talk about sickness and just how much grief and how sick I was and how my skin was literally on fire for months. Oh my gosh, months. But how much work I had to do to like get my nervous system safe and calm. And but I didn't have, so the neuroplasticity work that I've been doing, I didn't have the education behind it. So what has kind of just fallen in my lap recently is the why, the understanding, the like biological mechanism of your body. And so I'm gonna start tapping into that. I'm excited.
So
I know. Honestly, grounding. And grounding, not just going outside in nature, but like grounding with the people I love. My family, they keep me very, very grounded.
Probably on different fronts, I'm assuming. It was just like.
Yes, yeah, in so many ways. Fitness is a huge part of that. I physically have to move my body every day.
You and I both.
But not at 100% intensity, right? Like, especially in CrossFit, like I know the days that I can push it. I know the days that my 100% is 60%, and I'm okay with that.
I think of it as letting the balloon go. Like your balloon just fills up, but exercise is you letting the air out, and then you have room to let it fill up again.
Yeah. But if I'm not in this space, I'm out walking, or I'm riding a bike, or I'm moving. I move my body literally every day in some capacity. Yeah. But it makes me so much more present. So to answer your question, I find that I love this human experience. I do. It's something that just even the older I get or the more I learn about myself, my spirituality brings me very close to myself. And when I'm well, and I say that because, we're not going to be well all the time, meaning good days and bad days, in business and health and all of the things. But when I feel my best, I show up as the version of myself that I want to be. And I want to do that as much as possible for as many people as possible, including myself. And I love that. It gives me such good energy. I just am like so passionate about that. Just life, spirituality, movement, CrossFit, all of that. But I find that I am my best self when I take care of myself.
Do you ever feel pressure to be that version of yourself? Because I know for me, I have my own kind of things I have to work through when it comes to how I should present myself to other people.
Yeah.
But I'll feel pressure to, have to be a certain way in order to be presentable to other people.
Yeah.
And that part of that for me is being my authentic self of like, oh, okay, I don't think the gym today is going to be the best today just because I don't feel like I'm myself completely.
Yeah.
Does that ever get in the way of your grounding or of your meditation, kind of sitting in silence? And does that ever get in the way, or like, do you feel that pressure at all, or you're just like, oh man, I'm just gonna be who I am?
That's a good question. Maybe an older version of myself would have.
Okay.
Not now. Not where
growth.
I'm at now. I'm going to say this because I don't know if I think this is great, but it's true.
Open and honesty.
I'm really good at showing up, even when sometimes I don't feel like I have the capacity.
Sure.
If that makes sense. So if it is for somebody else.
I say that self-awareness is very admirable. Not many people have
And
that.
I know, like, hey, I'm not feeling great.
Yeah.
And I need to be here running the open, which I felt good during the open. So, but I'm just using it as an example, or a class that I have to teach, right? I can set that aside because I truly believe that when people are in front of me, I am giving them the gift of fitness. And I don't like to mess with that with people. Yeah. So I see that as like, I don't know if it's a great thing. I think sometimes I do it, and I probably need to be more compassionate with myself, or ask for help. It's something I'm getting better at.
Yeah, well, that's a skill in of itself.
It is a skill in and of itself.
Compartmentalizing, but not burying.
Yes.
I bury.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
Thinking I'm compartmentalizing,
Yes.
but I'm putting some wet cement over it and not digging it back up.
And then putting a rug on top?
Yes, and it just builds up.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put more on than the rug because I need to
then
make
a
it look
plant.
pretty. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And my computer so I can play video games. That's good. I think something that's helped me a lot, and I touched on it with you yesterday, but I was like, no, I wanted to save it for when we were on camera.
Yeah.
But we were talking a lot about visualization and how within yourself there are different versions of yourself that you could tap into and communicate with. Like we talked a little bit with the nervous system work that you are learning about. Part of that is you have installments or phases of yourself that exist in you, and they respond to different things in different ways.
Yes.
And I don't know if I learned this from anywhere. I don't think I did, but I learned that this was an actual practice in therapy later on. But I've done this visualization thing that I fabricated that's helped me a ton. And it was in a time in life where I was way overweight. I just moved here. I was 320 pounds, working my desk job at the time, working remote, and just living an unhealthy life. And I later ended up being at risk for death and in the hospital.
Yeah,
but through that time, as I was navigating and processing that, one night I got up. It was probably 1, 2 in the morning. I got up, and fun fact, I can't sleep in the heat. And I know it was summertime. I can't sleep when it's hot. So I went and took a cold shower, tried to cool myself down. And I ended up laying down in the shower, and it was pitch black. And I envisioned myself. Have you ever seen the show Merlin? It came out in the early or late 2000s, like early teens. It's I don't think many people have seen this show. I love it. But think of like a big cobblestone castle kind of throne room.
Yes.
I imagined myself in this big hall with a big round table in the middle of it. And it was an open round table, so it wasn't a full circle. And there was a big fire in the middle and then a chandelier up top. And I imagined 4 different versions of me sitting at this table. There was me, angry me, sad me, and then fearful me.
Yep.
And I would have a conversation out loud with these people. I sounded like, I felt like a total psychopath as I was doing this. But
we're all more alike than we are different.
Yes. I felt totally crazy. And I'm like, I don't think anybody should know that I'm doing this because this sounds whack. But like, especially if you do it sober, you're like, this person needs a doctor. But I started doing that, and I would, as me, I would have this prompt for this conversation, and I would fully manifest the emotion of each person and leave out all the others. So if I was talking angry me, it was just my anger. Sad me, just my sadness. Fear, just my fear. And when it came back around to real me, I had, real me, I had this almost just like epiphany, because what it felt like was me hearing other people that I didn't allow to speak at all. And it turned into this war room, conference room, like meeting experience of just how do we tackle what's in front of us right now. And I haven't done it a lot since. I've done it maybe 6 or 7 times, and that was 3 years ago. Oh gosh, I've been here in Utah for 4 years now. It's crazy, is it this month?
It is so crazy.
It is crazy. That has helped me a ton when it comes to, like, when problems feel so big, they don't feel solvable. But when I can cancel every other sense out except feeling like the water was vital, like I only do it in the shower. And I couldn't see anything, I can't hear anything. It kind of allowed me to like freeze times, kind of what it felt like, and give myself a second. Giving myself the confidence that the time that is passing is not going to affect the severity of whatever consequence is coming, just from something in life happening, good or bad. And I can just sit there and figure out not what the solution is, but what the next step is. Saying, okay, here's what I can do next. Here's what I can do next. I use that in business when so I started my business in November of 2023. This was now like August-ish of 2024. I'm at my first rock bottom. My unemployment was gone because I was relying on that a lot. I was scooping poop on the side to try and make ends meet. And just a wreck. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I need to move back home? I was going through all of like the worst case scenario, catastrophizing things.
Which actually is a huge part of the process.
It is.
When you can like actually sit there and be like, okay, all this fear is coming up from like what is actually the worst case scenario. And then you start to realize like, okay, maybe not in all cases, but it's like, okay, if you did have to move home, is that the worst case scenario? It's maybe not what you want. But
giving yourself
that would be your story to tell, but for sure.
But I did this visualization thing again, and I forgot what question I asked myself, but it was along the lines of, should I keep this going? And I told angry, sad, and fearful me to be as honest as possible. Don't lie to me. And that was just me telling myself to be honest with myself. So I'll translate that, but every single version of me was like, you have to keep going. You have to keep going. And I was genuinely considering, as my friend did when closing his business down, of like, do I need to find somewhere else so we can make this life happen? And every one of them was like, yeah, this hurts, but I think we can do it. And a week later, I got my biggest client at that point in time.
I love it.
It was like clockwork.
I love it. So I don't think I put a name to this, but a lot of the neuroplasticity work that I have done is, that would be called a test. And it's like, did you really want this? Yes. And you passed. Like, that's the universe, or whatever you want to call it. Saying like, do you really want this? And I think a lot of times in those cases, like if we're just talking just candidly, which we are, but like so many times I don't think we're being honest with ourselves. Like and I think that's a whole other skill set in and of itself to unlayer and peel back all the onion layers.
That's not as easy of a question to answer as you think.
No,
and I'm having this conversation with my therapist right now with relationships. So I've never dated, and my end goal in life, if I have one, I would love to experience marriage, experience family in this life. That's something I deeply desire. And at least I tell myself I deeply desire. And I'm having these conversations with my therapist in some ways, and she's like, do you really want it? And the point that she was getting at is, your actions do not reflect that you actually want what you say you want. And that's could be in business. For me, it's in relationships, or even in business, it shows up for itself as well. The kinds of clients that I want are not showing up because my actions are not representing the actual results that I want. That is so much more complicated, or not complicated, but harder to figure out and process than I thought. I was like, well, I feel like I want it, so I want it. And then she would keep saying, yeah, but do you want it? And I get frustrated because I'm like, I just told you I want it. But she had a point.
Yes.
That's a whole nother thing too. We could talk for 6 hours on all that. But
we could, and I'm not a trained therapist at all.
Yeah.
However, I did go to school. My college degree is psychology, which
cool.
is so interesting because I feel like, man, I use that so much more than...
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Yes, boom.
That's all I know.
Talk about the universe and like how things come together. Like my 42-year-old self wanted, my 42-year-old self looks at my life now and it's like, oh my gosh, I actually can have that like full circle moment of like, this is why my life played out the way that it did when we just talk about career and all those things.
Hindsight's
At this
powerful.
moment, when I was in college, I wanted to go to school for sports psychology and then kinesiology, that was on the table too, and then nutrition. Okay. And at the time, the University of Utah, that's where I went, didn't have any of those programs. Or they had one, but it just didn't work out. So I ended up getting a psychology degree. Come to find out that that was not what resonated with me after I graduated. I didn't want to do social work, and that's what I needed to do, or else I needed to go on and get a master's.
Which is funny you say that.
All those things.
Because you kind of do that now.
I do it all the time.
In a very unprofessional
I do it all
capacity.
the time. Yes.
All the time.
And you know what's funny is I'm like, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I almost probably use my psychology more than I do my fitness,
Sure.
Or my expertise in that realm. But and then fast forward, like a decade. So like 20-year-old self went to school and got a psychology degree. Then I tried a decade's worth of work. And then 30, I became level 1 certified, 29, 30, whatever the timeline was. And now at 42, but at this, and I was doing CrossFit before all of that, but now at 42, I'm like, oh, that's because I was supposed to learn it from CrossFit and go on to like learn the nutrition that I wanted to, that I actually believed in, that actually works, because I so strongly believe that CrossFit and nutrition is the fundamental of health. Yeah. And it's so cool to see that full circle moment. Yeah. Where I'm like, oh, the universe blocked me then. So, because it's not what was meant for me at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look at you now.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
McKenzie, answer me this in 5 words. What makes you smile?
My husband.
My husband.
That's 2?
That's 2. Oh, we'll do 1. I'll do 1.
Okay, husband. Babies. Authenticity. Gratitude. And fitness.
There you go. Kenzie, thank you so much for being on this podcast. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Oh, awesome. You can find us online at tectonfitness.com. We're also located here in Murray, Utah. And we're on Instagram, Tecton Fitness.
Please check them out, guys. McKenzie, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Chase. It's a pleasure.